James, you're going to take us into a nice analysis, and you're going to go a bit more technical in terms of the rand.
Andrew touched on a few of the points, but I think it's important to understand three things. And the first is that actually, if we look at fundamentals, that they do not cause the huge swings that we've seen in the market. So here, if we look at a producer price inflation adjusted rand from 1957 and 1970, and then here a trend line as well. That trend line, we're looking at an average 5.6% depreciation per annum. And based on inflation, we're looking at somewhere here over 11.50 or so, which is, we're almost there, to the dollar. But that doesn't explain these huge big swings. Now, at this point, when we were up at 18, the rand was way undervalued. But we're starting to get to a point now where, we're getting to perhaps starting to be a bit overvalued. And it is starting to hurt exporters and so on, local manufacturers. But it's important to see the big picture, but that we won't get any direction from fundamentals for these swings that can last months or years. And then the second one, just you touched on that yourself, Andrew, is that actual news and events do not give direction. They're often a trigger, but as you see, you spoke about our two downgrades, that with both of them, the rand actually strengthened after that. So it depends where, we'll get onto that later, where sentiment is at the time, but you can't always say because there are positive things happening that the rand's going to continue strengthening. And then
is this the Elliott wave principle? Is this
it does come into it, yes. It does come into it, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then just as you said, Andrew, that we tend to exchange at the wrong time. So this picture shows it quite clearly that the black line there is the dollar rand exchange rate, whereas the blue is our net investment position, which is foreigners investing in South Africa and South Africans investing offshore, and that net position. And as you can see here, when the rand was at its strongest, the persons were bringing their funds in. When the rand weakened, persons took money out. When the rand strengthened, they brought money back in again. When it was at its worst level in early 2016, that's when people are rushing for the door. Whereas it should have been exactly the opposite. When the rand's strong, well, then take your funds out. When it's weak, you can bring them back in again. But unfortunately, that's not human nature.